Today I want to talk about the baptism of our Lord. Now, there are some misunderstandings about this feast, and sometimes I think we immediately picture in our heads his baptism as a baby because we celebrate this feast at the end of the Christmas season. So we've been thinking about Christ as a baby born in Bethlehem, and then we're celebrating the feast of the baptism to end the Christmas season. But he's not baptized as a baby. He's baptized as an adult by John in the River Jordan. We see the account in the Gospels, and I want to look specifically at Matthew's Gospel today. Christ goes to John to begin his public ministry with his baptism. And another misunderstanding we have is that Christ needed this baptism. He doesn't need to be baptized. Why are we baptized? To remove original sin from our souls, to enter God's family. These things Christ didn't need. So why does he go to John to be baptized? We see in Matthew's Gospel, John sees his cousin approach, and John realizes he's the Messiah, and he says, "You shouldn't be coming to me to be baptized. I should be coming to you," because he knows who Christ is. And what does Christ say to John? But I need to do it. He says, "Let it be so now, for thus it is fitting for us to fulfill all righteousness." What's he saying? But that we need to do this because this fulfills the greater plan of God. So let it be done. Let me come to you. Why does Christ go to be baptized when he doesn't need to be baptized? Well, there are several reasons. One of them is that he's showing us what needs to be done. We see in John's Gospel when Nicodemus asks him about entering the kingdom of heaven, Christ mentions baptism. He says no one will enter the kingdom of heaven without being reborn by water and the Spirit. So Christ is showing us what needs to be done. He's also allowing himself to be numbered among sinners. He's standing among sinners, seeking the baptism that sinners are seeking. Why? Not because he's a sinner, but because he's come to enter into our sin. He's come to take that sin onto himself, ultimately to die for that sin. And so he's baptized, he goes into the waters. The church fathers and the catechism tell us this is to prefigure his death, that he goes into anticipating his death, but also anticipating his resurrection because he comes out of the water. And this movement, it's not that the water's purifying him, but that he is purifying the waters and making way for the sacrament of baptism, which he will institute through his apostles. And so he enters into the water. He comes out of the water as a type of resurrection. Remember, St. Paul mentions baptism to die with Christ so that we may rise with him. And then the Spirit comes over. We hear the voice of the Father saying, "This is my beloved Son," because that is the effect of baptism, that we all become God's sons and daughters, and that the Spirit hovers over the water just as it did in Genesis, because this is a new creation. This is how we are recreated as God's children. And so it's a beautiful feast. Celebrate this feast. And remember, this is technically the end of the Christmas season. So now you'll see the creche disappear from your churches. And now we'll begin to enter ordinary time and begin for Lent. And that's a little theology in 3 minutes. Hey friends, exciting news for you. My very first book is available from Ave Maria Press. It's called Opening the Holy Door, and it's scriptural reflections on the virtue of hope. It's the perfect way to celebrate this Jubilee year, as together we are pilgrims of hope. You can find the link in the description below or go to joanwatson.faith to order your copy today.